Hello, I'm Emily. I'm here to talk about GS1 Standards and how they can help you prepare for the FDA Food Safety Modernization Act, Section 204D, commonly referred to as FSMA 204 or the Final Rule. This rule became effective in January of 2023, and organizations have until January of 2026 to comply. This video will cover key components of the final rule and highlight the specific GS1 standards you can use as you prepare for compliance. Before we get into the content, please note that GS1 US employees are not representatives or agents of the US FDA, and the content of this presentation has not been reviewed, approved, or authorized by the US FDA. As you watch this video, please remember to make your own business decisions and that all GS1 standards are voluntary and not mandatory. If you are new to GS1 standards or standards-based traceability, you may want to visit our food safety webpage to learn more. Now let's see what Felicity and Martin, two of our food industry members, have to say.
Martin, what a surprise running into you here. How are you doing?
Hi, Felicity. I'm so glad I ran into you. I'm a little overwhelmed. As a food distributor, I am trying to understand what my company needs to do to prepare for the FSMA 204 rule, published by the FDA. We already use some of the GS1 standards and services. Do you think they can help us prepare to meet this regulation?
As a supplier for both retail, grocery, and food service channels, I completely understand how overwhelming this can be. If you have time, let's go grab a coffee and we can chat.
That would be great. Thanks.
GS1 standards lay the foundation for a more visible supply chain, and in situations like traceability and recalls, timing is critical. Let me show you on my tablet. I'm part of the GS1 US FSMA 204 workgroup, which includes suppliers, distributors, operators, retailers, solution providers, and associations. We have been developing a set of tools to help companies assess where they are in their traceability journey and where they need to go. This will help them design systems and processes that help enable them to be more scalable, accurate, and interoperable. One of the tools created is a guideline called Application of GS1 System of Standards to support FSMA 204.
That's great. Could you tell me more about how FSMA 204 started?
Of course. This effort to enhance traceability in the U.S. supply chain is part of a larger piece of legislation dating back to 2011, when the FDA Food Safety Modernization Act was signed into law. The goal was to transform the food safety system in the U.S. by shifting it from being a reactive response to foodborne illnesses to a preventative one. FSMA 204, which is also referred to as the Final Rule, outlines record-keeping requirements for certain high-risk foods that the FDA has identified in their Food Traceability List, or FTL. If your company manufactures, packs, processes, or holds any of the foods from this list, the Final Rule requires you to keep additional traceability records, and if the FDA requests them, you must share the records within 24 hours or within some reasonable time to which the FDA has agreed. Please keep in mind there are some exemptions. You should always reference the Final Rule on the FDA website to see if any of them apply to your company.
I see. What specific information does my company need to gather?
The Final Rule outlines certain steps in the supply chain, known as CTEs, critical tracking events, and specific KDEs, key data elements, that must be recorded. CTEs are actual events such as receiving, packing, shipping, or transporting that occur to the traceable object during its life cycle. KDEs are the elements of data that describe the actual instances of a specific CTE. Used together, CTEs and KDEs describe where and when in the supply chain the event took place, what foods were involved, and provide ties to the records that support the data, such as the traceability lock code. Here's an example the FDA provides for cucumbers. The circles are the CTEs, or steps, and for each of these, there are specific KDEs, or attributes, to describe them. A crucial point of FSMA 204 is to distinguish affected locations and foods from unaffected ones during a food safety investigation. Use of GS1 standards can help support the process to quickly identify affected locations and the affected foods so they can be removed with minimal impact to consumers.
We already use GTINs, or Global Trade Item Numbers, and GLNs, the Global Location Numbers. Is this helpful?
You're on the right track. Traceability starts with the unique identification of products and locations, which is what the GS1 identification keys, GTIN and GLN, respectively enable. You can also identify pallets or logistic units using serial shipping container codes, or SSCCs, which come in very handy for this rule. If you have trading partners that are not already using GTINs or GLNs, they can visit the GS1 US store.
That's good to know. My company uses GS1 128 barcodes. Can I leverage them to help meet the final rule requirements?
That's great to hear. The FDA requires companies to assign a traceability lot code to foods on the FTL, Food Traceability List, when they initially pack, perform first land-based receiving, or transform a food. They also must share this traceability lot code with downstream supply chain partners. GS1 Standards can help companies capture the required information by encoding the GTIN and batch or lot in a data carrier, such as a GS1 128 barcode. Some companies even add a date to achieve better supply chain visibility.
How about other data carriers like RFID and 2D barcodes? I know that they also enable more accurate and efficient data capture.
Companies can also use these to capture this information, but they need to ensure that their trading partners also have the capabilities to capture this data. The final rule does not require the use of any data carriers. However, they can be used to help enable greater accuracy and efficiency.
Okay, I see. Once I have the information I need identified and captured, is there an efficient way for me to share it with my supply chain partners?
Companies can meet CTE and KDE requirements by using existing GS1 standards. They can reliably share master data through the GDSN, Global Data Synchronization Network. They can also use EDI, Electronic Data Interchange, and EPCIS, Electronic Product Code Information Services, to share the transactional and event data. For example, the shipping CTE can be shared using the ASN 856 Advanced Ship Notice, which has been leveraged in the food industry for many years.
I think I see the full picture. As our manufacturers pack products into cases, they can encode the GTIN and batch lot into a data carrier. Cases can be packed and shipped in different configurations or logistics units, such as pallets. SSCCs can then be used to identify the pallets throughout the supply chain. This way, as they travel, pallets and cases can be scanned. Advanced Ship Notices, or ASNs, with all the detailed information can be sent when the product is shipped to the next trading partner. This will allow us to know their locations all the way to the restaurant or grocery store.
Exactly.
And while FSMA 204 doesn't require the use of GS1 standards, or any other standards, companies can leverage them to establish more interoperable and scalable traceability systems while meeting FSMA 204 requirements. This information is great. Thank you for taking the time to show me.
You're welcome, Martin. It's always a pleasure chatting with you. For more information on how to use the GS1 system of standards to help meet the requirements of FSMA 204, please check out the following resources: the GS1 Standards for Food Traceability Online Certificate course and the GS1 US FSMA 204 webpage. To learn about the additional benefits of implementing traceability programs, check out the following videos: Why Inventory Management Matters for Supply Chain Visibility, and How to Apply GS1 Standards for Improved Inventory Management and Supply Chain Visibility. For additional information, or if you have questions, please contact our member support team at info@gs1us.org.